All right, all right, all right. Thank y'all for joining me. This is Promontory Decking Headquarters, episode 15. We're going to touch on a couple things that happened throughout the beginning of this week and some of the things that we need to do to continue moving this business on down the road. I'm going to start off by saying I had a blast hanging out with Chris Longwell from Legendary Decks, Jared and Rick from Trex. We had an awesome day golfing yesterday out at Madeiras and talking about all things business. I got to ride in the cart with Chris and pick his brain about running a successful deck business in San Diego for more than 15 years. So he's a wealth of knowledge and expertise, and it meant a lot to me to sit next to this guy and just pick his brain, ask him questions about, his crew and, what his relationships are like with some of the other vendors that, service the San Diego area, and then spending the time getting to know Jared and Rick from Trex was great because that's a relationship that I'm really excited about nurturing and developing like a really strong working relationship with a company like Trex is great because they got everything. They got railings, they got fascia, they got privacy panels, they got screws and fasteners and, you name it. When it comes to building decks, Trex makes something that will work and satisfy every customer out there looking for a composite deck. So this week we've got a couple things that we're trying to make come to fruition. One of them is a 8x24 Trex deck in caramel. This is a Transcend line that calls for a Transcend white composite railing, and it's a pretty straightforward and simple build. I mean, it doesn't really get much more simple than this design, but it's for a homeowner who had structural plans, architectural plans drafted. They're going for an owner builder permit, and I think they're realizing that they need a contractor to come in and do it. So I'm navigating the process of trying to take over this project so that I can give them a price for what it's going to cost to do it. And I've spoken candidly in the past about customer supplied jobs. And I want to do what I can to try and help my clients out and save some money where they can, but I don't necessarily feel like this entire project is a throwaway just because they want to purchase some of the materials. Let's wait for my dog to quit barking at the neighbors. Anyway, there's a lot about this job that they want to do, and this is another one of these ones that kind of has me a little weary about whether I should be taking it on or not. But beggars can't be choosers, and we got to get some work on the books, and we got to get some decks to build. So I'm trying to work through them with the process about who's going to be buying what. How is it all going to get delivered? Am I going to be compensated for those efforts? There's a lot of things there that we need to navigate and figure out. But, and the next project is finalizing and getting a contract signed and start building this sauna. There's a lot of moving parts with that as well. So we've done what we can. We've done a bunch of emailing. We've got all of our material lists over to Josh at Dixieline in La Mesa, who has taken a real keen understanding and care for me to grow as a business owner. So he's already kicked me some leads, and that's the kind of relationship that I want to try and nurture. I'm a big fan of Josh. He's been super cool from the moment I met him. And a little update on Betty Blue. She's been sent off to A&B Truck Recycling to get the entire rear end reassembled and rebuilt. I sent the guy Chewy a message this morning like, hey, what's the deal with my van? You know, y'all said 1 or 2 business days and I need my van back. So there's Bruce again. Sorry for him barking in the background, but yeah, so I need to get the blue van back, and I'm waiting on pricing from Josh. So as soon as I'm done with that, I've compiled an entire discovery packet that kind of breaks down the scope and how that will all work with these deck clients. Another thing that I'm trying to figure out how to navigate is to take over a permit as the new contractor, and how that's going to work. So I need to have a conversation with the inspector, whoever will be assigned to this project, and ask them about some small details. The clients really don't want to spend any more money on correspondence with the structural engineer. And the way that the architect has drawn up the plans, there's a few things that I would do differently that will save us time and money in the installation process. But again, I am not an engineer. So all of those changes and modifications to the plans technically need to get signed off by the structural engineer. And if I'm taking over and the clients don't want to correspond or pay for that anymore, it puts me kind of in a weird spot because I don't know exactly how I'm going to navigate all that. So I know that it's going to mean some correspondence with the county, and talking to some clerk people down there and figuring out how this is all going to play out. This is all kind of part of that red tape that California makes you go through. I mean, for good reason, but it really can slow down the process. For instance, like I could just tell these people based off of the plans, like, sure, I'm going to build this deck as it's designed, and I would feel good about putting my name on it with how it was constructed, or how it was designed rather. But everybody's got to sign off on it, and everybody's got to make a buck on it in California. And so it's a little bit of a process going through all the motions. And this is kind of the stuff that doesn't get talked about that a contractor has to deal with in order to even get to the point of getting a contract or a price submitted to a customer. And then again, like, you know, maybe other builders in the area like charge for this service and this time spent. And I haven't really been able to find a way to position myself for that. And there are a myriad of different contractors who will say, yeah, I'll give you a free estimate. No big deal. But I really want to understand my project, all the aspects of it, and come to a conclusion where the homeowner feels informed about the value that they're spending and what they're receiving, and that we get compensated for this front end work that sometimes goes unappreciated and uncompensated. So it's always a little bit of a delicate balance, and I am always looking for pointers and advice on how to streamline and how to make that process work better for not only me, but also my customers. So I've compiled a packet of about this thick of information that I know would probably rub some customers the wrong way, because all they want to know is the price. What's it going to cost? $12,000 or $20,000? They just want to see the number. but I really want to paint the picture of the value that we are providing. And sometimes that takes me a little bit more time than maybe other contractors take to deliver something like that. But anyway, a lot of moving parts. We are getting closer and closer to breaking ground on one of these two projects. My hope is that I can get the van back today or tomorrow and load that old girl back up with all my tools and get my system going, and so that way Monday we can hit the ground running and start bringing in some money, because we need it. We need some money coming in real bad. Anyway, that's a quick little update for what's happening in promontory decking world, and I will keep you guys updated on how the relationship with Trex develops in the future. I only think it's gonna be a small amount of time before they start asking us to doing, displays at different conventions or different storefronts, and I'm really excited to see where this relationship with Trex goes, because from everyone I've heard from, Trex is a great business partner, and they really do what they can to try and help contractors succeed. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people that are in my corner, that are helping me land and sell jobs, because at the end of the day, we are suited and booted and ready to start building some beautiful decks, and refining my processes with the estimations and contracts, getting all that kind of so that it's easier for me. I've developed this formula. I get a lead, they get this information, I gather that information, I spit out my report, and boom, the customer has pricing, scope breakdown, and all the information they need to choose us over other folks. So yeah, thanks for paying attention, and we will see you on the next one. And love you guys. Have a great day.